Hi, I'm Jack Parker, and I'm 36 years old. I stay with my 5-year-old daughter Emma in North Carolina. We are a small but happy family. Of course, things would have been much easier had my wife Grace still been alive. Unfortunately, she died while giving birth to Emma due to pregnancy-related complications. I had never imagined a life without the love of my life and my partner in crime, Grace, but I had to be brave for our daughter. With Grace not around, I had to be both a mother and a father to Emma. Little did I know that things were about to get worse. I met Grace in high school 21 years ago. Her contagious smile and pleasant personality had bowled me over. I still remember the first time I met her. Hi there, I'm Jack. Hi, I'm Grace, and that's my sister Nancy. You both look extremely pretty and identical, too. Yeah, that's because we are twins. We make it a point to keep our hairstyles different, so there is no confusion. I like my hair long and straight, while Nancy likes to keep it short. So Jack, where are you from? I am from North Carolina. What about you girls? We are from Georgia. Grace, can we go for coffee sometime? Wow, that was quick. We have just met, and you are asking me out for coffee already? Naya. Actually, it's okay. It's okay. Don't feel so embarrassed. I was only joking. And Grace started laughing. Her loud, contagious laughter which attracted me to her instantly. I would love to go out for a coffee with you, Jack. Tell me when you want to go. I'll let you know. I found it strange that Nancy wanted to go on a coffee date with me when I was obviously interested in Grace. However, I did not think much of it back then, as I was too love-struck as a teenager and was looking for different ways to get close to Grace. Grace and I became really good friends during the course of our high school journey. Soon, our friendship blossomed into love. I had never been happier. Grace was smart, intelligent, supportive, and extremely beautiful. Grace was also easily the most popular girl around. She had plenty of friends, both boys and girls. But it never really affected me that she had so many guy friends, as she was very honest in our relationship, and I knew that she loved me just as much as I loved her. We rarely had any fights during our dating period. The only fights we had were always related to one topic: Nancy. Initially, I thought that Nancy was a protective and loving sister, but my opinion of her changed soon. I even broke up with Grace once due to one such big fight we had on my 16th birthday. Jack, please hear me out. What do you want to say, Grace? I specifically told you that this was a special day for me. This was supposed to be my first birthday with you, and I wanted to spend it with you, just you. I told you not to tag along Nancy this time. Jack, please try and understand. Nancy's boyfriend just broke up with her last week. She's been very upset since then. I just wanted to cheer her up. And you chose my birthday to cheer her up. Grace, this is not the first time that this has happened. You have to understand that we are a couple, and Nancy cannot come with you on our dates. She is my sister, Jack. I care for her. You know that my parents died in a car crash years ago? She is my only family member. And what about me? What about our relationship? Nancy is not a kid that you need to take care of. The truth is, Grace, that Nancy is jealous of you. She is jealous because you are more popular than her and have a loving boyfriend. She is crazy. No wonder her boyfriend left. I cannot believe that you are saying this about my sister. I know that you are angry, but you have no right to talk about my sister like that. You know what, Grace? I think I have had enough of your sister. You have to make a choice now. It's either me or Nancy. What do you mean? Am I not clear enough? You can either choose me or your sister. You can't have both. How can you expect me to choose between my family and love? This is ridiculous. I have got my answer, Grace. I don't think we can stay together any longer. Are you for real? You are breaking up with me because I can't let go of my sister? Yes. I left in a fit of anger. Grace repeatedly tried to stop me and calm me down, but I was in no mood to listen to her. I wanted to be her #1 priority and not Nancy's. For 3 months after that, we did not speak to each other. If we happened to bump into each other, we would just look at each other. But neither of us could hide the tears in our eyes. She was my soulmate, and I could not let go of her just like that. I took the first step, apologized for my rude behavior, and we were soon back together. This time, I promised her that I would not let Nancy or any third person be the reason for our fights. Grace, on her part, made a conscious effort to not let Nancy be a part of our private moments. However, Nancy, being Nancy, did not miss any opportunity to stick her nose around. But I had now learned to ignore her and just focus on Grace. After completing our high school education, I got admission to the reputed University of Pennsylvania for a business administration course, while Grace took up fine arts at the prestigious Rhode Island School of Design. As for Nancy, she wanted to follow Grace, no surprises there, and do fine arts, but was not selected for the same due to low grades. She had to pursue a diploma course in culinary arts in her hometown. The distance between Grace's university and mine was about 300 miles. We had, however, decided to make our long-distance relationship work. We would travel on weekends to spend time with each other and would stay in touch via the phone, emails, and video calls on other days. Distance made our bond even stronger. We learned to value our relationship while giving each other personal space, and what made me happier was that Nancy was nowhere in sight. We soon completed our respective educations and started looking for jobs. Good fortune smiled at me again, as both Grace and I found pretty well-paying jobs in North Carolina, my hometown. We decided to take our relationship to the next level and started living together. We were doing well professionally and couldn't be happier personally. A year after living together, I decided to pop the question. You are the most kind-hearted, gorgeous, and amazing girl I have ever met. I fall in love with you all over again every single moment that I spend with you. Grace, my soulmate, my high school sweetheart, the love of my life, will you marry me? Is that even a question, Jack? I'll happily marry you and live the rest of my life with you. We were engaged, and the wedding date was fixed a month after the engagement. Everything seemed just perfect. The wedding approached closer, and Grace invited Nancy over 1 week before the wedding to help with the preparations. Although I was not very keen on having Nancy over, I did not say anything because for Grace, she was her family, whom she wanted by her side during her big day. As I had expected, Nancy had a problem with every wedding preparation or plan we had. From the flower arrangements to the decor, to even Grace's wedding dress, she had a negative opinion about everything. What caught my attention was, however, how she was particularly trying to be overly friendly and nice to me. I knew how sly she was, and although Grace always wished the best for her sister, she was always jealous of Grace's happiness. Grace and I were about to celebrate the best day of our lives, and I was not going to let Nancy ruin it. After Nancy's multiple failed attempts to ruin our big day, we finally got married. My happiness knew no bounds. I was about to spend the rest of my life with the woman I loved the most, or so I thought. 4 years into our marriage, we were leading a happy and content life. We had our little arguments and quarrels like every other married couple, but we always sorted them out maturely and made it a point to not let the love in our relationship die. Soon, Grace gave me the news that she was pregnant. We were ecstatic and were looking forward to expanding our family. Grace had lost her parents in an accident when she was very young, and I was raised by a single mother who I lost to cancer 2 years ago. We both felt a vacuum in our lives due to the absence of our parents. But we were excited to now have our own extended family and be loving parents to our child. The pregnancy went by smoothly, and we found out we were going to have a girl. We made all the necessary preparations, like making a beautiful nursery, buying clothes for our newborn, and even selecting a beautiful name for her. Grace's water broke, and she went into labor 2 weeks before her due date. I rushed her to the hospital. I was by her side throughout her labor pains, holding her hand and motivating her that it was only a matter of time before our daughter would be in our hands. But Grace was turning pale and becoming weak. Just then, the doctor asked me to wait outside as he checked Grace. The doctor came out at once. The unborn baby's heartbeats are slowing down, and Grace is passing out. We will need to do an emergency C-section. But doctor, look, we really don't have any time for discussions. This has to be quick, or we could lose both the mother and the child. We need you to sign the consent form. Before I could come to terms with what was happening, the doctor handed out a consent form and took my signature on it. Within minutes, Grace was taken out of the ward. She was semi-conscious at that time and in a lot of pain. I don't think I am going to make it, Jack. I hope our little girl can. Why are you saying that? You know we have to raise our girl together and grow old together. Promise me, Jack, if I can't make it, you will be strong and raise a happy child. You are not going anywhere, Grace. We'll walk home together with our baby. Please, Jack, I need you to promise me. It's my last wish. I promise. But this is certainly not your last wish. You're not going anywhere. Grace gave a dry smile. It was almost as if she knew what the future held. I let go of her hand as she was taken to the surgery ward, unaware that it was the very last time I could be holding her hand. Sorry, sir. You will not be allowed to go beyond this point. Please wait here." Usually, a C-section delivery takes only a couple of minutes, and it worried me when no one came out of the room even after a couple of hours. I kept asking the nurses and medical staff what was happening, but they all said I needed to wait for the doctor to come out. The doctor finally came out after 2 hours with news that changed my life forever. "It's a healthy baby girl, but unfortunately we could not save your wife. She lost a lot of blood during delivery. We tried hard to stop the bleeding, but we could not save her. She died due to a postpartum hemorrhage." But how could it be? She was healthy, and it was a smooth pregnancy. I don't understand this. A nurse came from behind and handed Emma over to me. Even before I could grieve the loss of Grace, I was handed the biggest responsibility of my life. Tears rolled down my eyes as I held Emma for the first time. Her radiant smile, her nose, her eyes, everything about her was just like Grace. I was shattered, but I had to put up a brave front for the sake of my daughter. I was surprised to see the number of people who had turned up for Grace's funeral. She had truly touched the lives of many people in a positive way. Nancy was also there for her sister's funeral. She hugged me and expressed her condolences. She then picked up Emma, but what she did next angered me beyond words. "Hi, Emma. Don't you worry? So what if your mom is not there anymore? I am your new mom. I'll take care of you." "Nancy, how dare you?" "Jack, I was just what? Just leave here now and never ever try to take Grace's place in our lives." "Jack, honey, be practical. Grace is gone. You need a partner and Emma needs a mom. Besides, I look just like Grace. No one would even notice." I have never raised my hand on anyone, but one more word you utter from your mouth and I will forget that you are Grace's sister. Just get out of here and don't ever contact me or Emma again. Nancy left, and I hope to never see her again. It was beyond me how a sister who loved and cared for her so dearly never mattered to her. She just wanted everything that Grace ever had. Call it her jealousy, insecurity, or madness, Nancy had disgraced her own sister's funeral. The initial few months with Emma were very difficult. Handling a newborn without a mother, coupled with the loss of my partner Grace, made things very difficult for me. But what kept me going was Emma's smile and the promise I had made to Grace. Soon, things started to improve. With time, my parenting skills improved, and Emma started growing up to be an affectionate, happy child. Being a single parent with no help, it was becoming increasingly difficult to manage both work and Emma together. It was then that a colleague at work suggested a babysitter who would be of great help to me. He gave me Sophia's number. I knew that Emma was in good hands from my very first interaction with Sophia. She seemed to be a gentle and calm lady and had years of experience as a babysitter. Also, after Grace had passed away, I started working in a hybrid mode and was working from home most of the time. And for the times that I was not at home and Emma was with Sophia, there were security cameras that I had access to. This assured me of Emma's safety even when I was not around. Emma was only 1 year old when I first hired Sophia. Sophia developed such a beautiful bond with Emma that she has continued to work as Emma's caretaker and babysitter for 4 years. I, on the other hand, kept myself busy with work and Emma. I was seeing a woman at my workplace for a brief period, but it was a short-lived affair if I would even call it that. Grace may no longer be there with me physically, but emotionally, she is the only woman I have ever loved. It was that day of the year again. It was Grace's 5th-year death anniversary, but it was also Emma's 5th birthday. I know, as a matter of fact, that had Grace been around, she would have celebrated Emma's birthday in a big way. The least I could do was to be cheerful, or at least pretend to be cheerful, for Emma on her big day. Happy birthday, my dear princess. Look how fast you're growing, Em. Thank you, Dada. So, Emma. Dada is going to work now. Okay, Sophia will be here soon. You can have some fun with her and Dada will be back in no time. I'll get you a nice birthday cake and we can celebrate your birthday, okay? Okay, Dada. Come back as fast as possible. Just then, Sophia rang the doorbell. She had some balloons for Emma. Hi, Emma, sweetheart. A very, very happy birthday to you. Here are some balloons for you. Thank you, Sophia. I love pink and I love balloons, and you gave me both. Emma grabbed the balloons and ran to her room to play. Sophia, I am leaving now, but I'll try to come back as early as possible with Emma's birthday cake. We can have a small cake cutting at home, and you can then go home. Jack, I was thinking maybe you could call in some neighborhood kids in the evening to celebrate Emma's birthday. She has never had a birthday party, and this is her 5th birthday. Soon, she will start going to kindergarten. She will really like it if she celebrates her birthday with kids her age. Sophia, just do as I say. I do not want to throw any party for Emma's birthday. There is no need for your suggestions. I am sorry, Jack, if I offended you. I was just suggesting a birthday party, as I thought it would make Emma happy. Actually, I am sorry, I did not want to be rude, and I completely understand that you just wanted to make Emma feel special on her birthday. I have some personal reasons for not wanting to celebrate Emma's birthday in a big way. I left for work immediately, not wanting to elaborate on the topic any further. When I got home from work, my 5-year-old daughter told me that her mom paid her a visit. I was baffled because my wife died during childbirth. I checked the security camera footage and was shocked to see my wife's sister, who was obsessed with me, trying to forcefully break into my apartment and influence Emma. Sophia narrated the entire incident to me. I was playing with Emma when the doorbell rang. I thought it must be you. When I opened the door, I saw a woman who resembled your late wife's photo hanging on the wall there, but I knew that it was not her. I politely asked her what she wanted, but upon seeing Emma playing in the living room, she started shouting. She yelled at Emma that she was her mom and that she had come back from the dead to celebrate her daughter's birthday. Luckily, I managed to push her out before she could enter the house. For several minutes after that, she kept banging on the door. She kept shouting that she would come back again, as this was her house and her family. I was about to call the helpline when the banging stopped, and she presumably left. That's Nancy, Grace's twin sister. She has always been crazy and wanted everything that Grace had. Grace died due to certain complications while giving birth to Emma. Instead of offering solidarity and support in that moment of grief, she wanted to take the place of her sister in our lives. It was then that I decided to cut off all relations with her. I don't know why she has returned after 5 years to create havoc in our lives again. Oh, I see. That's why you never celebrate Emma's birthday in a big way. But what will you do now, Jack? Today I was able to push her away, but what if she comes again and tries to manipulate Emma? I can't let that happen. I will not let her destroy my family. I then calmed Emma, sat her down, and explained to her that her mom was with God and she would never come back. The woman who had come there, claiming to be her mom, was just a crazy woman. Although I was extremely disturbed, I made it a point to let Emma cut her birthday cake and put her off to sleep once she had calmed down and forgotten about that morning's intrusion episode. I knew I needed to get rid of Nancy for good, or she would keep coming back to create chaos in my life. The following day, I contacted some of Grace and Nancy's distant relatives from Georgia to learn about Nancy's whereabouts in the past 5 years. It turns out she got married 2 years ago to a big-shot businessman, but just 8 months after the marriage, her husband divorced her on grounds of mental instability. She was not granted any alimony and was in a poor state financially, doing odd jobs here and there. I even got in touch with her ex-husband, narrated what Nancy was doing, and asked for his help. I had made all the necessary preparations to get Nancy out of our lives forever. Knowing Nancy, I knew that she would definitely come back to my house to meet Emma, and sure enough, the day arrived soon. Luckily, I was at home that day with Sophia and Emma, and it was me who opened the door. Jack, honey, how have you been? It's been so long, I missed you. Sophia, please take Emma to her room. I have something important to discuss. Once Sophia carried Emma to her room, I confronted Nancy. What is this behavior, Nancy? I told you to back off 5 years ago. Why are you here trying to influence my daughter? Oh, come on, Jack. It's been 5 years. Don't you feel lonely? Don't you think Emma needs a mother? And hey, did you notice? I have a big surprise for you. I grew my hair long and straight, just like your dead wife. Don't I look exactly like her now? You are not even an ounce of what Grace ever was. And talking of surprises, I have a bigger surprise for you. I handed over a legal document that consisted of the petition that I had filed against her in the court of law seeking a restraining order against her. She was angry and shocked and left immediately without uttering a single word. Within 2 weeks, we got a restraining order against her. The procedure was relatively easy and quick, given her previous record of mental instability that had gotten her divorced and the testimonials of her own distant relatives who seconded her rather odd behavior, along with the testimonial of her ex-husband. Nancy was now legally prohibited from approaching, contacting, or harassing either me or Emma unless she wanted to face legal consequences like fines, arrest, or even imprisonment. I was no longer worried about Emma's safety. Nancy was now lonely, penniless, and without a single loved one. Definitely not what Grace wanted for her sister, but it serves Nancy right considering how she made a mockery of her own sister's death and tried to forcefully take her place in our lives.